My grandpapa is a second-generation Italian born in Baltimore's Little Italy. His father's parents spoke only Italian, but later his grandfather learned a little English. His mother's parents owned a store during the Great Depression. After his grandmother died, family members ran the store until it closed in 1950 when my grandfather was 20 years old. The store is now an Italian restaurant called Sabatino's. When my grandfather was 3 years old, his family moved to East Baltimore, where his only sister was born. When he was 9, his parents got a divorce. His mother worked long hours, but to keep close ties with her family, she would go to dinner at their house every Sunday in Little Italy. My grandpop told me, in Italian families, the boys were the favorited, and his mother thought nobody was good enough for her son. My granny's German family came from Baltimore from Hanover, Pennsylvania. My granny said that her mother had a very hard childhood since her father was an alcoholic. Her father's mother was one of 17 siblings from County Mayo, Ireland, and 5 of the sisters were sent to America to get away from the Irish potato famine. She married a German man named Nicholas Frank, and they had a store. Granny's father worked long hours for the railroad, and her mother was a seamstress in a factory. Granny lived in South Baltimore neighborhood called Brooklyn with her father, her mother, and her brother. My grandparents were married on Saturday, September 9th, 1961 in Brooklyn, Maryland. Grandpop was 21 and Granny was 20. Granny only had a few allies in Grandpop's family, Aunt Mary and Aunt Rose. After they were wed, they moved into a one-bedroom apartment in Washington, D.C. The reason was so that Grandpop could attend graduate school at America University. Granny was fresh out of nursing school and worked in a hospital. Their rent in 1961 was so cheap, at only $90 a month. The blending of cultures made their marriage interesting. On holidays like Thanksgiving, they would have ravioli instead of turkey. Granny was not a fan of the tradition. She was used to turkey and stuffing. Granny was not exposed to eating Italian food, and she said that cheese in Italian culture made her sick. But she learned to cook Italian, and Grandpa learned to eat German-Irish. An interesting commonality between both families is that during the Great Depression, their houses were converted into stores to support their families. Another commonality is that the families enjoyed big family dinners to gather each other together. Another commonality is that my grandparents both only had one sibling each, which made their immediate families very close. The most significant commonality is that they were both brought up Catholic and both grew up in Baltimore. Although they had some differences in cultural background and tradition, they succeeded in making an all-American family. My grandparents have 4 children, 8 grandchildren, 2 great-grandchildren, and 1 great-great-grandson. From the blending of their intercultural marriage, they made it work for 62 years and have made a great future for generations to come. And I'm part of that. I am an Italian, German, Irish, Swedish mutt. But that's a story for another day.